Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name is Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. This is week 19. So this is from May 5th through May 11th and all my reading shenanigans in between. And it's coming to you on time. Holy shit. What's happening? And I read some shit. I don't know what's happening, but we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it and we're gonna enjoy it. So if you'd like to know what's been occupying my week for the last week, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. All right, yes, I did do some reading. This week was the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon, which I am a co-host with Cheyenne at That Tall Book Girl, Jen over at Honest Fiction, or Jess at Honest Fiction, and Jen over the Book Refuge, who created the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon. This is my third year participating in it and my second year as a host, and I am having such a good time. I think it kicked that reading slump I've been in. I think it kicked it because I completed some shit this past week. So not only are you gonna be finding out what I've been reading this week, but you're also gonna be finding out my Mafia Romance results. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my first book that I'm still working on is my reread of Empire of the Vampire. I'm listening to this on audio. It's being done by Damian Lynch. I love this book, but the audiobook is very, very long, and I'm about to say I'm just gonna sit down and finish reading the book physically because I want to read the second one, which I already own because it's out. And that's the reason why I wanted to reread this book, was to prepare myself to give that the best foundation possible, because this was my book of the year in 2022. If you'd like, I have a full book review. It's right here. You can go check it out. It's back from 2022. And I just raved about this book. I couldn't shut up about this book. So I'm still enjoying my reread, or I guess my re-listening of it, but it is a high fantasy novel, and I just don't do the best with high fantasy novels on audiobooks. But if you're interested in this book, this is the first installment to a dark high fantasy series by Jay Kristoff, who's more popularly known for his Assassins series, Nevernight series. Yeah, the Nevernight Chronicles. That's what he's more famously known for. But this is his foray into adult high fantasy, and it follows Gabriel de Leon, who is a Silver Saint, a product of a male vampire and a human woman. He has the powers of his father, but the mortality style of a human, and they are kind of half-breeds. They're not really welcomed. So a function called the Silver Saints finds these children and takes them in and trains them to basically be vampire slayers. But this is Gabriel's interview, because he is the final Silver Saint, which already walking the book, you know something's going down. They have lost, but the story he is telling is epic. It is bloody, it is scary, it is mean, it's sarcastic, it's funny, it's sexy, it's all of the above. This book put vampires back on the map for me. I'm fucking loving it. I am loving my re-listening to it. It's just taking me a long time because it's like a 27-hour audiobook, and I listen to my audiobooks on one, because that's just how I roll, guys. It's just how I roll. I know I am that person. So, but I am progressively making my way through it, and soon I will finish it, and I will be able to read the second one and let you know if it holds up. So that's where I'm at with Empire of the Vampire. But now let's get to the stuff I actually completed this week, because I completed some shit, guys. Holy crap. So the first book I completed was The Last Field Party by Abby Glines. This is the final installment to the Field Party series, this is book 7, so it's a 7-book series. This is the most recent release. It came out, I want to say 2 years ago, and we get to revisit all of our couples from the Field Party series. Now, I have actually read the entirety of this Field Party series since being back here on YouTube, so this is one of the first long series that's taken me a long time to finish, but I started on YouTube, and so you've seen me talk about every single book. So I thought it was only fitting that I finish it and talk to you guys about it, because this series, all the feels, man, all of the feels. But if you'd like to see a full series review of this entire series and how my thoughts and views folded with every single one of them, please let me know down in the comments below. But right now, we're just gonna talk about this bad boy. So, like I said, final installment to the Field Party series. We have a collection of short stories, essentially is what this is. Every single couple we revisit in their own kind of form, in a short story format, a couple chapters per each story. Just kind of finishing up and clarifying those final questions that we might have had from the previous books. And then some other shit happens with some couples that we didn't expect to happen, and then we got to deal with that. So we do get some closure, we get some new stuff, and then maybe some stuff down the road she might want to touch on later, but it is just a collection of short stories. But there are some triggers in this one. We do have depression, drinking, and graphic language. That's pretty much about it. If you've read the previous series, which you have to have read the previous series to understand anything going on in this book, you will have already dealt with her, the way she handles her triggers, the way she writes them. Abby Glines has this unique concept of writing where she talks about very heavy, serious, dark topics, but you don't just stew on them. She writes the lighter side. She focuses your eyes on the silver lining, and this is where that silver lining really comes into play, for sure. So, summary, direct follow-up of the previous installment, previous series. You have to have read all the entire series beforehand to even understand this. But the whole gang has come back for a field party dedication in remembrance of Hunter, who we sadly lose in one of the installments. And it is kind of a remembrance of him, and they're taking the field that were all the high school football parties, drinking parties, and a lot of our stories really took place. We've come back. It's no longer the partyscape. It's no longer the party field. It's now being turned into a training facility for Lawton High, for their football team, and they are dedicating it in name of Hunter. So that's why the whole gang is back. So not only do we get short stories of each one of our couples, but we have an overarching reason why they're all there. And it all makes sense, and it ties in with each one of their individual stories. So I really appreciated how she did that. Thought that was dope. We do get a lot of answered questions in this story, in this installment, and that is one of the main things that worked. There were some big unanswered questions at the end of some of these novels, and they got answered. And I'm okay with their answers, and I'm happy. I'm okay with them. I can sleep well at night. My people are good. They're good. Also, this is 5 years after the end of the last book, just so you're aware. It's 5 years. So our kids have grown up. They've grown up. They've made life-changing decisions, and some of those life-changing decisions we do get to see in this book. So I thought that was really, really cool that not only do I get their initial HEA, but I get to see a little bit of the aftermath that normally you would just be put in an epilogue, but I get a whole book of all my couples. Was it worth the wait? Some of them were, absolutely. Some of them don't really give a shit about. But there were some couples that I just was like, yeah. I'm so glad I got to see them again. So that was really, really nice. One of the things I really, really enjoyed about this installment, however, is that even though we got to see every single one of the couples, she still gave us new stuff. One couple in particular, Nash and Tallulah, which is one of my favorite couples, there's more dilemma going on with them. And I was like, I'm sorry, the fuck? What? I'm reading the first story, and then I find out in that first story that something's going on with Tallulah and Nash, and I'm not happy about it. So I have to wait and go through the other fucking stories before I find that out. So not only do we get the resolutions and the answered questions in each individual couple, but we also get bits of stories from the other couples interlaced with them. So they're all interconnected. It is a collection of short stories, but you have to read them in order. And I fucking love that. I love how she took two big things and just mushed them together, because Abby Glines does this all the time. She takes two big dynamic things and puts them together, and our people have to overcome them. Well, our people have already overcome shit. So what does she do? As the author, she takes two big concepts of constructing a novel, mushes those fuckers together, and makes them work. And I thought it was dope. I was so happy. This is one of the best conclusions to a series that I've seen. Conclusions to series, long-staying series, are fucking hard. We all know it, especially interconnected standalones, because you have your favorite couples. But to be able to tie every single one of those fucking books together, clearly, concisely, and as well as she did, I thought it was dope. I loved it. It felt like a genuine series. Yes, it's a series of interconnected standalones, but with this book, it felt like a genuine series that you had to read in order to really appreciate the grand scope of this story. And I really, really appreciated it. I thought it was dope. I thought it was a great way to end this very young adult novel series, which does become new adult, because they're not young adults anymore. They're new adults. They've graduated college. Again, 5 years after the last book. 5 years. They're not in high school anymore. They graduated. The youngest couple, Asa and Asmita, have graduated from college and they are coming back home. Coming back home, and we find out. Was Asmita the one that got away? Was she? We don't know. Read the book and find out. Because I fucking know. Yeah, I'm not going to ruin it. That was good. That was a good one. Really, really enjoyed that one a lot. However, there were some things in this book that did not work, even though I had such a good time with this book and such a good closure with this book. Even though there was a lot of questions answered, she still leaves us with some open windows, welcoming her to come back. And I was like, you had this closure element, you had this solid closure, but then you're going to leave me these little nuggets of questions that really aren't important, but I'm invested in these guys. I'm invested in the series. I feel like I've grown up with these kids and I know these kids and I want to know that they are going to be A-okay. So why did you leave me with more fucking questions? Maybe to come back in 10 years for a high school reunion? I don't know. Maybe? Who knows? But that was just slightly irritating because it's like you're giving me the end. You are ending this on such a well done, well executed note. Don't leave anything unfinished. Don't do that. Because although they are minute questions and someone who is not as invested in the series as I am probably wouldn't care, I do. Your invested readers don't want to be left fucking hanging unless you are planning on coming back to these people. And if you do, you need to let us know so we can just be prepared. Okay? All right? Cool. Glad we had that. Glad we worked this out. Cool. Okay. The other thing that didn't work for me, and this is the first time I've seen her do this. First time in this series, and it sucked that she did at the very end. Because she ended this so well. She ended it so well. So, like I said, they're all coming back for this dedication party at the field. And the very final scene with everyone is they're at the field all together with their people, the way that they are supposed to be with their people. Just having a bonfire, drinking, being young, but actually adults. And some are on the long haul. Some are just starting their journey together. Some are already progressing to next levels. And it was so fucking perfect. It was perfect because every single one of these dudes. Now, this series really follows the guys. We get introduced to all the guys in the very first book, and they are at a field party. It's the girls that come in and kind of grow within them. The girls, it's not the girl group we're following. We're following the group of the guys. We're following the Lawton football team, okay? That's who we're fucking following. And they had all of their other halves. They had their guys, they had their girls, they had who they were supposed to be, they had who they were going to be, and they were there all together the same way it started. It was a full circle moment, and it was fucking perfect. I was done. I was happy. I could walk away and left with no problems whatsoever. None. I was so ecstatic. I was so ecstatic for that. I loved it. And then she put a fucking epilogue in it. And it just... I'm glad that I got that story, but I didn't need it. It was unnecessary because she had the perfect moment, the perfect ending. It was the perfect ending of the story, and then you had to give me an epilogue. Now, granted, you do not have to read the epilogues if you don't want to. You don't. But one of the big questions that arose in this story, in this installment alone, you have to read the epilogue to find the answer. And that was irritating. That was annoying. It just was. Oh my God, what the hell was that? Anyway, what is that? Anyway, sorry. But it was a little disheartening. It was a little disheartening because it was perfect. It was perfect right at the end. It was. And I didn't need the epilogue. I didn't. But I did complete a series, guys. I completed a series this year. I did. I completed a long-standing series that I've been working on, and I'm very, very happy. So if you'd like to see a whole video just dedicated to me gushing about this series, good, bad, indifferent, everything, let me know. I would love to do a whole series review of the series because this thing was awesome. This book only received 3 stars from me, but I've had 5-star books, I've had 4-star books, I've had 3-star books in this series. This series was excellent, and I would love to share it with you guys. So if you'd like to see a whole series review, let me know. I would love to work on it because these books just give me that I can do anything feeling. And I don't think I'm ready to let go of that just yet. So I did it. I finished one, guys. Little round of applause. Little round of applause. All right, so the next book I worked on started the the next book I started working on. I can't talk today, guys. I've been just, anyway, I started working on the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon, which I already mentioned I am a co-host for, along with Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, Jess at Honest Fiction, and Jen over the Book Refuge, who created the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon. My 3rd year participating, and my 2nd year co-hosting. And this is what my bingo board, ending bingo board, looks like. I did not black it out, but I did get a bingo. And I have not tallied all my points yet. This is I know what my bingo board looks like because I'm still in the process of finishing one book, but I have until midnight tonight to finish it to really count all my points. So I won't have the point values until later, but I'll let you guys know in my next week wrap up so you guys know. But let's get into the books that I read for this bad boy. So the first one I picked up was Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, the 2nd installment to the Brutal Birthright series, which I started in my first Mafia Romance Read-a-thon. All right, so this is Polish and Irish Mafia. Okay, we got Polish and Irish involved in this one. A Beauty and the Beast retelling, captive, graphic sexual content. We have murder and graphic violence as triggers in this. Quick summary, we follow, and I am going to butcher his fucking name, I know, so therefore I will be using his nickname, but his name is Mikołaj, and we call him Miko. Okay, he's Polish. He is the boss of the Polish Mafia in Chicago after being groomed and adopted by the slain previous boss, okay? Nessa is the only daughter of the Irish Mafia boss Fergus Griffin and the baby sister to Callum Griffin, who we met in Brutal Prince, which was the first installment to this series. Now, Miko wants to run the entire Chicago city, but because of the marriage in Brutal Prince with Callum and Ada, who is the daughter of the Italian mafia boss, they now have a union of Irish and Italian. So that forced together is too much for the Polish. So the Polish decide to come up with a plan to work with the Russians, the Brathas, and they decide to kidnap Nessa and systematically emotionally torture this bitch to break down this Irish-Italian joining, okay? By doing this, after he kidnaps her, he keeps her prisoner in this Gothic-style mansion deep in Chicago. So she's still in the same town while her family is looking for her. Now, the thing with Nessa is she's been kept out of the family business a lot. She's aware of it, but she doesn't really know the ins and outs. She is the baby and the only daughter. So she's a mafia princess, but just a princess, really. This whole story is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So once we get her kidnapped and into the house, it takes on a very almost fantastical fairy tale feeling. But instead of books, we have Nessa, who's a ballet dancer. So through dancing, that's how we're kind of keeping some of these elements. And we build this really unique relationship, very Stockholm style syndrome, captor-captive style. But Nessa, because she's a dancer, she's so used to picking out astute details and ballet dancer to be specific, so very like knowing exactly where the point has to be, where the turn of the shoe, everything, very precise movement. So she's very good at picking up details, and she picks up on a lot of details. She learns very quickly, and she starts to see past Miko's facade and starts to really see him, see beyond his beastly ways. And that's where our story really kicks off. So what worked? The continuity. This is an interconnected standalone series. However, if you have not read Brutal Prince, you will still understand this one, because she does give you enough of Brutal Prince backstory to understand who Nessa is, why Miko's pissed off, why he's angry with Callum, and everything like that. Okay? You get a lot of the previous novel. However, you do not have to read the previous novel to jump into this one, so you don't have to read at least these two in order. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. I'm a series follower. I think you should do that, but it's not necessary to understand and appreciate this story. Okay? I really, really enjoyed that. It gave it just enough foundation for you to understand the previous, but Lark allowed this story to thrive in and of itself. Okay? I love Beauty and the Beast retellings. Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorites. I love it. I think it was great. I like the fact that that was the retelling she chose to use with this one. I found that it worked really well for the storyline that she created. And I love the ballet element thrown in. I feel like that was a really good component. If she wasn't going to do the reading, which she still does homage to the reading, but if she wasn't going to do the traditional reading thing, I believe ballet was a really good usage of it because of the attention to detail, because of the artistic form of it, because of the ability for some people to really understand and not understand it. Ballet speaks to people, and it speaks to people just like books. Two people can watch the same ballet and get something completely different from it, even though they're watching the same performer. Just like when two people read the same book, they get things different because even though they're reading the same author, just for their own perspectives. And I felt that was a really nice choice for artistic talent to use. And also, it kind of lends itself to that princess element style, because ballerinas, beautiful princess thing. It worked for me, okay? It worked, okay? I loved that it was a direct retelling, okay? It was. She followed the same basic scale of Beauty and the Beast. However, I really like the details that she threw in. So we have the Gothic castle. We have Don't Go Into the West Wing. We have the two staircases. We have a dance element where they're dancing together. We have You Will Eat Dinner. I enjoyed the subtlety of the Beauty and the Beast retelling. Yes, are there gigantic flaring, this is Beauty and the Beast right here? Absolutely. But it was those subtle nuances that Lark threw in there that really solidified that retelling, but made it unique, because she took those minor details, like the West Wing. You're forbidden to go to the West Wing. Did that need to be in there to still have the Beauty and the Beast retelling? No, it didn't. But she chose it, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed those little homage details that she chose. I thought they were great because they were little things that some people don't always pick up on. They're the little minute details, which lends to Nessa being able to pick up on these little minute details of Miko's Miko is completely tattooed, by the way. Completely tattooed, which we love a tattooed hero here, okay? We do. We love them. We love them. Bring it on. But she picks out not the grand story of his tattoos. What she picks out is what he's trying to hide within his tattoos. Those little elements of his own story, of his personal internal story. So I like that dualistic nature that Lark did with the book, how she mirrored Nessa's ability to find these small details about Miko, while we're supposed to be finding these small details about Beauty and the Beast, even though we have a glaring obvious Beauty and the Beast, but she still wanted to tie it in with the small details. Thought it was great. Loved it. I really enjoyed Miko. I liked him a lot. I liked him. I thought he was cool as shit. I loved his revenge angle. I loved his personality. He was kind of snarky in the beginning, and I really enjoyed that. And then that kind of went away, which was annoying. But I enjoyed what I did get of that. I enjoyed his backstory because it had everything he did had purpose. It wasn't just because I'm a mafia boss and I fucking can. Everything he did had a reason, and I really enjoy that she did that with him. I thought that was really, really cool. And also the fact that he was not originally a gangster. He kind of fell into this by doing what he felt was right. And that was why he was chosen. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a unique turn of events for the mafia boss to choose an heir based not off of blood, but off of actual being brains and ability to handle things, ability to put things together, and heart and grit. I liked that. I thought that was really cool for him. I loved the opening story for this. Very dark, but it gave me a lot of reason and purpose for Miko. And I appreciated that. I appreciated actually seeing it versus just being told about it in, a flashback or something like that. I enjoyed being able to actually see it. That was very, very fun and unique. And I always enjoy when authors do that, where they actually give me the reason and then I get to see it displayed later on in the story. It's always a nice, refreshing thing because a lot of times they just do it in backstories. But this one, we actually got to see it. And I love how Miko wanted the acceptance of Nessa's family. After all said and done, we do have an HEA, but he wanted their acceptance. He just didn't take her word for it. He knew, because he's smart. He's not a stupid person. He knew that there were extenuating circumstances for kind of the development of the relationship, and he wants to know if she'd actually do it if those didn't exist. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated that he wanted it to be her choice. He wanted it to be her choice. And therefore, he wanted to actually win her heart the right way, not just the way he did originally. And I thought that was really, really cool that he decided to go back and do it all over again, but, kind of the right way. So, really also enjoyed the little Easter eggs other than the Beauty and the Beast retelling. There was a few other Easter eggs for literary novices in here. We have some Alice in Wonderland. We have some Julius Caesar. There's quite a few literary Easter eggs in this. So if you are a literary novice and you like to pick and choose, I think you'll have fun with this one because there's a lot of hidden things, which was another element that I really liked. Not only did she do it with her characters, she did it with the reader. I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. I really enjoyed the final HEA in this one. I liked the way it all played out. It was full circle. There was choice, there was consent, there was trust. It was all earned. It wasn't just, oh, well, I've captured you, so now you love me. Yes, that happened. But we still went back and the same choice was made, even though the original way it happened was changed. I liked that this HEA was earned. It wasn't just given to us. We had to re-earn it all over again. And I appreciated that a lot. However, as much as I like this book, there were things in this thing that didn't work for me. I didn't really care for Nessa very much. There were some traits about her that I did like. I like that they made her very smart and very quick to pick up on things, very talented, artistic. I love that. I love that about her. But I wasn't really a huge fan of how meek and mild she was in the beginning, because when she starts to get stronger, it's too close to the end for me. And I kind of wish she would have started showing more of that grit earlier on than when she did. Just because I just prefer my heroines to have a little bit more backbone, truthfully. There was a lot of Polish in this, and nothing against Polish, but it's a very hard language. And it's not one that you can kind of easily sound out. And the translations are in there. They are in there, which is fine. And I appreciate that. But there was a lot of it. And it kind of just stopped me for a second. And I'm like, oh, God, that's annoying. For this, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I kind of wish you would have just either, just kept it in English. But I get why. Kind of get that feel, that ominous vibe. It's a very hard language. And if I didn't have those translations, I wouldn't have any idea what the fuck they were saying. So I needed the translations to understand what they were saying. I didn't have context around it. And that was kind of irritating that I had to have those to understand it. So I rather you just given me the English since you gave it to me anyway. The spice scenes in this, there was spice, but they just didn't stick with me. They just didn't stick. I still remember spice scenes from Brutal Prince. And I'm not trying to compare this to Brutal Prince, but that's the only other Sophie Lark book I've ever read. And this is completely different. Completely different. And I understand, because I've been told that there is no other book like Brutal Prince. Like, Sophie Lark does not write another book like Brutal Prince in the rest of the series. So I've kind of gotten over that. But the spice level of Brutal Prince, I remember. I had to go back and actually like refresh myself on some of the spice scenes for this, because I barely remember any of them. There's only one, and they're not even fucking together. Okay? There's only one that actually sticks out in my mind. And they didn't have the staying power that the previous installment did. And I really miss that, because Miko's fucking hot. All right? Miko's hot. Let's just call it like it is. He's hot. And I like him. I fucking like him. I do. Like him a lot. They just didn't stick with me. And this has a first time experience in it. And it didn't stick with me. And I look for that shit. Yeah. They just didn't stuck. They just didn't hit where I wanted them to hit for Sophie's writing. For me. And this one, I really miss Sophie's humor. I love the humor in Brutal Prince. I loved it. And that's why Brutal Prince is kind of in a boat of its own, because there's no other installment like that with the humor. I've been told, now I've not read the rest of the series, but I've been told by people that I trust implicitly when it comes to books, especially Sophie Lark books, that there's not going to be another humorous book like Brutal Prince, which is really disheartening, because I like that dark, twisted humor that Sophie had. I thought that was fantastic, and I really think it would have benefited in this story. I really think it would have. But alas, it was not there as much. It's not there at all, not to the degree that I really have liked it to be. So that was kind of a miss for me, because I was really looking forward to that. So yeah. Now, as for a spice rating, like I said, the spice scenes, they just didn't really stick with me, but I did give them a 3 based off of, the scale that I use. There was a masturbatorial voyeurism scene, which is the main one that stuck with me. That was kind of unique. But she was masturbating with a pillow, and I found it really kind of odd. So I actually reread that scene a few times, and I'm like, so are you grinding against your hand or the pillow? I'm not quite for sure what the fuck is going on, lady. So there's that. But we did have some graphic language, and we had an outdoor scene, which was cool. But the main scene that I was looking forward to in this book was the first time. And it didn't hold with me. It didn't have that same luster and that same punch that I expect a first time scene to have. It felt like a throwaway. And that bothered me. So I did give this thing 3 stars though. And I do plan on continuing with the series, because let's be honest, I still like the book. And I like Miko. And I wouldn't mind seeing his ass again. Literally, I would not mind seeing his ass again. Yeah, be great. Now, the next book I completed for the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon was King's Ransom by Jane Henry. This is the 3rd installment to the Ruthless Doms series, another series I started during the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon last year. And this is Brought the Mafia. We have triggers for human trafficking, minor BDSM. There is an age gap in this. We also feature a beginning master-slave dynamic that transitions into a daddy-little dynamic, and we have a daddy kink. Oh, this is all about daddy. Yeah, so if you like your daddy kinks, here you go. So, quick summary. We have Tara, who's worked for Stefan, who is the pecan of the Atlanta Brought the Mafia. And she's worked for him for decades. No issues, no problems whatsoever, until one day she witnesses an execution. And she is caught. She is brought down to the room, and they realize that she's been taking pictures. Now, she's taking pictures of flowers, but in some of her photos, you can see the guy being dragged in. So Stefan freaks the fuck out, thinks she's a spy, and then realizes there's some other pictures of him, just kind of in his alone time, sitting in front of the fire, drinking a vodka, sleeping. Kind of little stalker-esque ones. Which kind of gets his gears twirling here and there. So now he's faced with a choice. He either has to destroy her because she could destroy the Bratva and destroy her brotherhood, or try to give her a chance to show her loyalty. He decides to choose to show her loyalty because a scenario arises where they can take down a human trafficking ring of Afghani women that the thieves mafia in Moscow is running. So because Tara is Afghani origin, Stefan decides to take her against his own choice. He's almost kind of like forced to, actually, to take her to Moscow and use her kind of as bait to get some intel on how to take down this ring. So now we are out of Atlanta and we are on a boat where this auction is going to be taking place. And once we get into this room where it's like a sex party, we're exposed to all of the kinks. Bondage, BDSM, electroplay, knife play, all different types of stuff. Brief glimpses here and there. And as we're walking through, we see this guy walking with a girl in a pink dress. And she's like, "Daddy, can we try this?" And Tara's immediately like, "That." No questions asked, that. Which starts our daddy little dynamic from master-slave component to daddy little, and then our story really kicks off. So, what worked? The initial story setup. I enjoyed their initial plot line of her witnessing something not supposed to, and then having to prove herself to the Bratva. I enjoyed that. That was dope. Enjoyed it, loved it. That was great. I loved that I got to see a lot of my old favorites. I got to revisit all the players from the Ruthless Dom series, and I got to see Damien when we got to go to Moscow. So I got to see Larissa and Damien again from the Wicked Dom series, which is the predecessor series to this one. And I have a whole series review of Wicked Doms. I'll link it here for you. I read that whole series for my first Mafia Readathon. So yeah, I was very happy that I got to see them again. I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. So it was very nice to see them. And the sex scenes. Sex scenes were great. I love a good daddy. I do. I love it. I love the dirty talk that we were getting in this during the sex scenes. Tell daddy who this belongs to. Yeah, fuck yes. I love that shit. That's great. Abso-fucking-lutely. Loved it. Good girls all around, whispering. Loved it. Loved the fucking dirty talk of this. I ate it up. She did not disappoint in those at all. I was in those for the win. For the win, people. They were great. If you like daddies, here you go. And look at this silver fox here. Like, come the fuck on. Yeah. All right. Daddy. Yes. However, as much as I like the sex scene in this book and the initial setup for this book, there was some stuff that didn't work. The introduction to the daddy little dynamic, I did not believe that. You are on a ship where there's a slave auction. You have brought Tara as a master-slave dynamic, okay? You've already set this up as master-slave. You're talking like master-slave. You walk into a room where you're seeing the dark of dark BDSM, human trafficking, non-con, electroplay, being fucked in front of strangers, forced to your knees to blow you whenever you want, and then you see some random fucking dude walk in with a little bullshit. I did not buy that for a fucking second. I did not. And that's what, black, leather, dark, very mute lighting. We have gangsters, mafia member. Didn't fucking buy it. Didn't buy it. It didn't fit. It was too juxtaposition for it. It just was. And I just did not like it. I did not like it. However, it wasn't so much that I didn't buy it. It's what happened after, okay? So when he's walking around and he is asking, like, do you like that? Because all of a sudden, He knows he knows he's attracted to her, okay? It's kind of insta on both sides, all right? We both know they both fucking want each other. It's insta. Now they're stuck in a small room together. It's common sense, okay, guys? Common sense. But as he's walking around and he's watching her reaction to things and saying certain things, he's pointing out stuff that's very domineering, very dark. I mean, he's already caned the bitch. He's already caned her once. So we already know he's got aggression and dark. But when she sees the daddy thing, she's just like, that. And he immediately turns it on and sits her on his lap and calls her good girl. And she just like falls into it. I'm like, what? Oh, fuck no. And then all of a fucking sudden, she is going to blow him. He turns off the daddy charm and pulls her to his knees. And then she sees the other girl blowing some dude. And she says, Daddy, please, may I? And what? What? You've never even fucking kissed this dude. Shut the fuck up. No. I did not buy that for a second. I just didn't. But the language was really fucking hot during those scenes. I'm not gonna lie. Language is hot. I didn't buy the setup. So. Once we got the daddy kink put in there, okay, once it was in there and the daddy little dynamic displayed, there was a lot of jumping around. It felt like she was trying to write this as a 24/7, but she would break it and then then we'd have Stefan force it back on, but she's kind of growing out of the 24/7. It was too choppy. It's either make this bedroom dynamic, make this 24/7, okay? Sorry. Blush me. Sorry, guys. Anyway, just make it one or the other. But this constant flip back and forth, because he was still getting her to prove her loyalty. So there's the reason for the flip, but no, I didn't like it. Just pick one or the other. Don't try to flip back and forth. Because A, it's really fucking confusing, pissed me off, made me didn't like Stefan because Tara was actually standing up for herself and kind of doing the little bit of the brat. And it was like, which age group little are we talking? Are we doing little? Are we doing bratty teen? Are we doing kind of mid? What the fuck are we doing? Like, choose your fucking little here, dude. Because you're giving me a fucking headache. Okay? So that was annoying. The other thing that bothered me was this juxtaposition of strong woman and then little girl. I understand that in the little daddy dynamic, a woman can be strong and independent, but she needs to feel taken care of and treasured and kind of like a little girl, protected. I completely understand that and respect it, except the way this was written did not reflect that. It reflected to me that she wanted to be little, but still treated as an adult. And from what I know of this dynamic, when you are in the little mindset, you are treated as a little because you're in the little mindset. When you're in the adult mindset, you're treated as adult. She wanted to remain little, but still be treated as an adult. And that just didn't jive with Stefan. So Stefan would pull rank, making me think he's a douchebag. And I don't want the man I'm fantasizing about being a fucking asshole. Don't get me wrong. I like assholes. Don't get me wrong. I fucking like them. And I like a good silver fox any fucking day of the week. But still, come on. I want, some continuity here. I want some continuation. Don't jump back and forth. It's annoying and gives me a headache. So, also, the turn of events was just too obvious. It was just too obvious, turn of events for this story. You kind of knew where it was going. It was very easy to pick up, wrapped up super easy too. And that's kind of common with Jane Henry. But this one was very, very obvious compared to her other installments. The ending wrapped up nicely, but it was the progression of events that also was very, very obvious, which is not an experience I've had with her. But it was with this one, for sure. So, As for a spice rating, I gave this 3 chili peppers. We do have a daddy kink. If you like daddy kinks, if you like daddy being used in the bedroom, if you like daddy please, if you like that, you're gonna enjoy this. You're gonna enjoy it because it's all over the fucking place. All over. It's great. Spanking, heavily used, really enjoyed it. Always a fun one. There's a lot of spanking in Jane Henry books, a lot of them. Almost every single one features a spanking scene, and this one is no different. There was some pretty good dirty talk during one of the spanking scenes, and it's dope. Really like that one. Really like the line that Stefan said. Was awesome. Just saying. This one started off a lot darker than I thought it was going. Like, it started off dark, and then it went light, and then it just went dirty. The progression was pretty unique for Jane. She usually just stays dark and just goes dark, but she went dark, then to light, and then to just kind of dirty talk. But a lot of the sex scenes, besides him like pinning her down, were pretty vanilla, minus the verbiage. So if you like a lot of talking during your sex scenes, that's great. However, she did this unique thing where it was talking on behalf of Stefan, which I really liked, because he would often say, "You're not allowed to talk until it's time to come, and then you need to ask Daddy's permission." And I'm like, all right, okay, all right. He just wanted to hear her make noises, which I thought was dope. I liked it. Didn't understand it at first, but when it was this continuous thing, I was wondering if there was an explanation for it, and we never got one, which was kind of the only unanswered question that I had was like, why was that so important that he did not hear her speak? But the one thing I do want to make very clear about this, there is a severe age gap. Like, he is decades older than Tara. So please be warned, if you like age gap, that's fantastic. If you don't, this is a big one. If you like daddy kinks, it's used all the time. If you like daddy kinks with age gaps, please understand this is a very large age gap. Like, he could be her grandfather. Age gap. So, there's some times where the daddy component might cringe some people, but if you're down for it, then you're down for it. Okay? But I gave this one 3 stars as well. Pretty much 3 stars across the board for the Mafia Romance Read-a-thon. And then the book that I'm still working on, that I have till the rest of the day to finish, is Taken by a Sinner by Michelle Hurd. I have just started this one. It is the first installment to the Sinner series, and we feature Greek mafia with his stepbrother. Yeah, so fun stuff. Fun stuff. I got a lot of fun stuff read this week, but that's what I completed this week, guys. I did some shit. So I hope I'm back. I'm hoping back. So let's rock it. Let's do this. And I will see you guys all soon with another video. And please make sure you check out our live. It's at 5 on Jen's channel. And if you can't make it to the live show, please make sure you watch it on playback so you can see have us all talk about our favorites and everything, and maybe get some more recommendations for some new Mafia if that is what you like. So I'll see you guys all soon.